Hi.
Oh, I am so excited to be doing these podcasts. I think that taking a minute in this energy that you're going to be talking about, I just take a minute, settle ourselves here together and invite in the Reiki energy because we are going to be talking about Reiki, but let's
Yeah.
invite Reiki in together.
Okay.
Take a breath and just get here.
Yeah.
Now, I'd say let's invite the energy of the astrology in, but I think that's already here.
Yeah. It's here whether we like it or not. So.
Yes, it is. It's a lot. And maybe just jump in there and start talking about the astrology.
Okay. So as we're recording this right now, we both know, but maybe everybody else doesn't know that we just hit a new moon in Aries solar eclipse. Big energy. It's energy that I've been talking about forever and it's here. And I'm like lighting up with energy right now, just tapping into what that means because it's like Phoenix energy, a rebirth, a renewal, but it's also a closing of a chapter. This Aries Libra axis, North Node, South Node. I won't get too much into it because I don't want to lose everybody, but this started in 2023, this energy, and this is the final moon phase in this axis eclipse energy before we start a new one, which is going to be in Pisces and Virgo, which is a whole other story. We won't talk about that today. But it's like a big, huge closing and a new beginning happening at the same time. And that can be overwhelming because it's like we haven't officially closed that chapter yet. Like we're still kind of working with the energy. We haven't started the new one. We're still starting that energy, but they're meshing together and it's very muddy energy right now. And it feels so big. We know that there's so much coming, but it's just tapping into that and accessing how to use it.
Right.
And that's just today.
Well, that's just today. Well, and like it does have my little fiery side going a little bit. I'm not going to lie. With my Aries moon, I am just going like, woohoo, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
and at the same time, it's making me a little hypersensitive to, I should say more hypersensitive because I'm already hypersensitive, but
Right.
flipping a switch a little bit. And yeah, I'm like, what the heck? Okay.
Yeah. The fire's being ignited pretty much today.
Like, well, I'm wearing some blue. I had my blue glasses on before, but they were just a little too dark for this. But I have on some blue jewelry and some things to just kind of,
Yeah.
call the allies that way to come down
Yeah.
from the fineness of this.
I like that. I guess
Yeah.
I dressed in blue too. And
Yeah.
I didn't even
Well,
realize. Maybe that's why.
I have my neuro spicy shirt
Oh,
on.
okay.
I was going to wear
Perfect.
my Capricorn, my Clary Hollow Capricorn shirt, but I was like,
Okay. No.
I don't think we need that one today. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Capricorn and Aries together. You live with it
Welcome to
every
the
day.
world.
But
No.
yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, podcast talking astrology a little bit about what's going on right now, but there's an aspect that you bring into our classes, into your Reiki sessions, is that you bring the astrology paired with the Reiki.
Right. It's pretty much in everything I do. And I don't think I realized that until recently, how much I work with the astrology on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, so as far as like when we're planning out our schedule, planning on our class schedule, going over the calendar, we did it the other day. And the
Yep.
first thing we look at is what is the astrology? Is it a good day to have a class? Is it a good day to have a workshop? Where do we need like the energy?
Well, yeah, because that affects how people take in the information. It affects even the the interaction of the people in the class because
Yep.
and then of course for us, I mean, not to be selfish, but it certainly affects us too. And
Yeah.
so it may not be the best day for me to be, sharing the, love and light when I'm a little bit,
Yeah. On fire.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can be a little bit much for people, you know what I mean? So, I think that's an important aspect to look at as, how we plan out the class. That is a consideration. Like there are things that go in behind the scenes of our classes that I don't think that people understand It's
Right.
not it's not teaching the same thing over and over again.
No. We teach it a different way every time, really depending on the people in the class,
Yeah.
what they need, their personalities. We use their astrology and their human design because everybody learns different
Right.
and everybody needs different information. We teach the same basic information every time, but how we present it and how we interact with it and have them interact with it changes each time.
Yeah. Well, it has to because, people are the unknown element
Yep.
in classes, the students are, and I mean that in a good way. There always seems to be a theme because
Mhm.
we take the time to, when we set the calendar for the classes and we're setting it around the astrology, at that
Mhm.
same time, we're calling in, inviting in the people who need to be there.
Yep.
And
And that
so,
energy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Which is, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it delivers exactly the class that the participants, all the participants need. They get the love
Mhm.
and support or the challenge, sometimes there's a challenge. They get that there, uh, exactly what they need to bring them along their Reiki path.
Mhm. It really is. I love this word magic. I use it all the time, but it's magic the way the energy comes together for us
Mhm.
and for them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
now I
And
want
it
to do a
go
science experiment in my head because we have themes for the classes. I want to go back and see which moon phases were each class and what the theme was. Does that make sense?
yeah, I think you need to report back,
I think, yeah, my
you know,
science brain is going
without
experiment time.
without divulging the names, the
Yes, absolutely.
entities of the folks, protect the innocent, whatever that was from that show.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. So our classes, I think, have an evolution or what do I want to say? You talked about the magic of it, but it's organic almost in the composition of how the information is presented. But it's
Mhm.
also an evolution, I think, because the more we teach Reiki, the more, I mean, we use it every day. We use it in everything like it's one of the spices of life. Like you use astrology and Reiki and
Mhm.
crystals, and I use um, feng shui and human design and of course crystals. But like how we and art, I use art too, but how we add that to the spice of our lives. But that comes across in the teaching too. And it
Mhm.
also creates an evolution. We talk about the evolution of Reiki and that Usui, like, bless him, I love him for what he, has brought to the energy world and the Reiki world.
Mhm.
Uh, he most likely was not the first person doing Reiki. However, he looked at it that um, it needed to be done differently,
Yeah.
you know? And then so he did his thing. He brought it out into the world, shared it the way he was sharing it.
Mhm.
And then the people who came after him kind of tweaked it a little bit, like everybody thinks, oh no, you have to keep it a certain way. And yeah, the framework of it, there's a word I'm searching for, but it's like the overall structure, the essence of what Reiki is, the grounding principle of it is there, but it is evolving and it's expanding and
Mhm.
it's growing, it's adapting for our world, our culture, and where we need it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because our needs are not the same societally as they were. When was it? 100 years ago?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
Missouri?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's a good bit ago,
Mhm.
you know. So, the movement or the evolution uh, to holy fire through ICRT wasn't something that William created. William Rand
Mhm.
created. He didn't create holy fire. It was given to him in a divine way through some channeling.
Mhm.
And it was directional. It was to say, something has to change here. and our use of words like God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit
Mhm.
have to change too, because we use those in Holy Fire Reiki,
Mhm.
but it's not religious. It is
Right.
spiritual in nature, but it's not religious. And so
Mhm.
that was a big evolution of Reiki,
Mhm.
the Holy Fire.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
then come COVID time, there was another evolution that happened
Yeah.
with, expanding to the online format. And we've taken it in a different step too.
Mhm.
Like, so we go through all the training, we take all our different Reiki classes, we continue to teach, but then we say, okay, there has to be a hybrid because all kinds of minds, we're looking at people's astrology, we're
Yeah.
looking at human design
Looking
test,
at ourselves.
we're looking at ourselves and going
Mhm.
like, this is so much.
Mhm.
You want to keep their attention and help them on their path. So
Yeah.
how can we do that more effectively? And we make a hybrid class
Mhm.
where we send out information, we shorten the in-person time, but we
Yeah.
commit to the growth of the student over the course.
Mhm.
So I'm just, like in my mind, I'm like, ooh, kind of like, what's next? What's
Right.
coming?
Yeah.
You know?
How is it going to evolve from here?
Well, it definitely is evolving. So
Mhm.
like I feel it almost,
Yep.
like
Mhm.
I wonder what's coming.
No,
You know,
I agree. And right on track with the evolution of us as a species, I feel like is happening now, and energy
Mhm.
work is part of that. So how are we bridging the energy work of the ancients and, the Asuis and even the Williams?
Yeah,
How are we bridging that with what we need now and where we're going in the future?
right.
Because, whether we like it or not, technology and AI are are here. They're a thing. And a lot of times that doesn't meld, we feel like, with the spiritual world, but
No,
it has to. And like, that's my opinion
well, it does.
is
I took my first class in 2000. I had to go back and look. I always have
Mhm.
to 2009. Okay. And that's a drop in the bucket as far as the timeline goes of what you're talking about. But the teaching style from 2009 to today is very different.
Yeah.
And the technology and all that kind of stuff is part of it, but it's also in, I think, our cellular structure.
Mhm.
It's in our astrological structure.
Yeah. In our DNA.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some things coming up.
Mhm.
Um, we're going to be offering some classes that we haven't offered before.
Yeah. I'm excited. The Karuna Master is the first one.
Yeah.
Uh, that one's on April 12th as we're recording this, in 2 weeks. And Karuna is new to me. I just took my Karuna with you, recently. And it's every time I take a new class with Reiki, um, it's almost like, how much better can it get? How much more Reiki is there? Do I need this class? Because we're chronic learners, we're chronic class takers.
Well, where is that in our astrology? That would be our Capricorn nature, would it not?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Always
yeah.
wanting to do more and learn more, and there's never enough certifications. It's also like an ADHD thing. You never think that you know enough, so you're always trying to do more. And same with the Karuna and the Animal Reiki are the ones that we're teaching this month, the new ones, and ones that we've been working with a lot lately. Same thing. I'm like, do we need this other certification? Do we need this Reiki? And you've been working with Karuna for a while now,
Uh-huh.
but it's still kind of fresh to me. And the answer is yes. Everyone adds a different flavor.
Okay, so what does Karuna say to you? Like can we jump down the Karuna rabbit hole for a minute
Mhm.
because you know,
Absolutely. Because immediate impression when I took Karuna was that it connected me, I want to say, to the angel realm, but it's more than that. It connected me up even further into the highest heavens. We talked about the highest heavens in Reiki class.
yeah.
And before it was, I'll give a really good example. When I meditate, I'm very visual. I see things. So before, when I would meditate, I would have to bring myself up to that place. I would have to go over the light bridge and ascend myself into the highest heaven. Now it's there. all
Yeah.
the time within me. I can access it. It's not a place outside of myself. It's it's here with me. And Karuna kind of gave me that instant access to it, I guess. But I think
That-
it's about the self-love and the compassion, opening it within yourself and not looking for it outside.
yeah. Yeah. And for me, Karuna, when I took it because of the job that I had. I was working in hospice and, Reiki of compassionate action, hospice setting, like
Right. That's a no-brainer.
it is a no-brainer. Um, and it offered such a gentle way to be with the people that I was with. And it was helping me be able to do the work that I was doing because,
Mhm.
that's not some easy stuff.
No.
Um, but I am not that visual person, and I am the person of action. Like, I'm out the door before we say let's ride. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm like, okay, let's go. If you smart, you say let's go. Like I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
And so what Karuna has done for me in more recent times is it's given me the opportunity to take action for myself, my heart, um, and to advocate for my own feelings to help me heal those places that I didn't want to go because, they
Yeah.
were twisty. So it, the beauty of Karuna to me is that it is that action oriented. I mean, not that Usui or Holy Fire isn't. And by the
Mhm.
way, our Karuna style is the Holy Fire Karuna. So the fire
Mhm.
is there,
Yeah.
but I want to say, it's oh gosh, words of my grandmother just came into my head. It's the firm hand in the velvet glove. You know what I mean? It like,
Yeah. I like
it
that.
it takes it in a softer way, but it
Mhm.
gives you, action oriented steps in my mind to
Mhm.
do it. And I think students get overwhelmed when they look at, well, should I take Karuna? There are
Mhm.
8 symbols, well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work to do in
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
you know.
But the benefit of it, work to me, challenge equals growth.
Yeah.
Struggle equals just magic. And I don't think that people think about it that way enough. So the hard stuff leads to the good stuff. It's working through it. And maybe that's my Capricorn Saturn.
I I was just gonna say your Capricorn is flowing again because,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. The hard stuff is what makes the good stuff.
Right. And that's your generator in the human design,
Okay.
because you get something and you have to stay the course until it's done.
Hmm.
That generator, they are the workhorse of the world.
Okay.
You know?
That
Yeah.
tracks.
Yeah, it totally tracks.
Yeah.
Like when I give people's human design and I go, oh yeah, well, yeah, that's you. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Tell us. And when I explain it in different terms to people of like, I have to give you a this or like if I ask you a choice, give you, I don't say, Elaine, where do you want to meet? Because you're
Right.
like, you freeze. You're like, oh, there are too many choices. I don't know which way to go. How am I going to get there? La la la.
Hmm.
If I say, do you want to meet at this coffee place? Do you want to meet at the park?
Hmm.
Give you 2 choices. You pick one or the other.
Yeah.
So that's the style of that. But coming back to Karuna, I think Karuna says in that I'm going to meet you exactly where you are,
Hmm.
and I am going to soften the healing for you. It's still going to be rough. It's still going to be a lot of work,
But I'm going
but
to
I'm
hold your hand through it. That's what I get the image of. Yeah.
yeah, in that velvet glove because
Yeah.
velvet is really nice.
Hmm.
So thank you, Grandma.
Oh, I
Um,
like that.
yeah,
I like that a lot.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so that's Karuna.
Mhm.
Now there's this other
The Animal Reiki.
the Animal Reiki.
I love Animal Reiki. I love Karuna Reiki, but they're so different and they hit in different places. And I was supposed to take my Karuna first, just side note. And then you're the one that invited the fact that maybe I need to take the Animal Reiki first. And you hadn't even taken the Animal Reiki. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But you just have this knowledge that drops into your head. And we've talked about this before. You're like a key that opens up doors for other people. And you don't know where the knowledge comes from. It just comes in.
It
Same
just
thing
does.
happened. You pretty much said, I think you need to take the Animal Reiki first. And I'm like, no, scheduled to take the Karuna Reiki. Like, I feel like that's what I should do. And then sure enough, I took the Animal Reiki first. And it needed to be done that way because the Animal Reiki it grounds you. And I needed that grounding before I took the Karuna class because
Mhm,
Karuna brings you back up. And
mhm.
yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. How would you explain Animal Reiki, the
Well,
feeling of
okay.
it?
Well, so for me, it was very different. I went into it very skeptical. I got to
Mhm.
be honest, because I've been doing Reiki for years. I've been doing Reiki on animals for years.
Yeah.
I did canine massage and I did all sorts of things. And I've helped dogs transition, and I'm that person in the neighborhood that people call me when their dog has fallen and they can't get up, and all of a sudden the dog can get up or whatever. So there are things that have always happened with animals. So I'm like, yeah, I don't need that.
Mhm.
I don't need that. And when I went to Sedona to the retreat, I met some people there, and I they did one of the animal Reiki. One of the sessions was about animal Reiki, and we did this meditation, and I was kind of blown away by it. And I'm like
Mhm.
listening, and I'm going, well, maybe there's something that I need to learn here in this animal Reiki.
Yeah.
And so for me, because one of the teachings in there is, hey, got newsflash, human beings are animals, and they fall under that realm.
Yep.
But it was the tree. It was the tree of life. It's the energy of nature
Mhm.
that has me, like, I've always loved nature, but there is a way I walk in nature now that, huh, I don't know if I even have a word for it,
Mhm.
because it's like you said, I just know stuff, like stuff just drops into my head. I don't know where it comes from. I'm not out there seeing visions or anything like that. I am very much of this plane,
Mhm.
you know, but like I feel like I'm a collector of information. And so stuff comes in. So when I'm walking in nature, it's not like I'm talking to the trees, but I'm kind of talking to the trees. Like,
Mhm.
like I feel them. I feel
Mhm.
them in a way that um, lights me up, helps me on my day. Um, and I think that's part of the animal Reiki. Some of the meditations and things,
Mhm.
experiences that are in that have afforded me a richer understanding of my purpose on the earth, as far as to advocate for let's stop paving paradise. And,
Yeah.
so yeah. And that was my first experience about taking an online Reiki class too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking the animal Reiki, and it makes sense because, you're not going to bring people and their animals all together under one house and expect that everybody's going to get along, because that is
Yeah.
not how it works in the animal kingdom.
No. Especially with that energy around Animal Reiki is gentle. It's more subtle and it's just as powerful, but not as intense as
Yeah.
like normal Reiki or Holy Fire Reiki. But even then, it's new energy. People are trying it out for the first time. So to have that running with a bunch of animals in the room, just not a
Yeah.
good combination.
Right.
So
Right. I kind
online
of
really is the safest way to teach
I
it.
kind of have this visual of, like, being at Hogwarts or something,
Yeah.
like when the first time they get to use their wands. I mean, like,
Yeah.
no, I hate to no, I hate to bring the woo woo in there, but, like, I mean, it kind of feels that way, like all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're trying something, and
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna
Next thing you know,
go.
your dog is, like, what is that?
Yeah,
What are we doing here?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Now, speaking of, Fiona, she's such a nervous girl.
Mhm.
She loved the class. Like, she was with me the whole time,
Yep.
you know,
Mhm.
which I thought was great.
I think so too, yeah. Lily's always with me, and she's not nervous, but, um,
Yeah.
She got so much out of it. You could tell that she was learning and feeling the energy right along with me. It's so crazy to watch how it integrates with them too. Because
Yeah,
what a lot of people don't know probably is that, the animals can be imbued with the Reiki energy too. And they
right.
can become, you know, like the essence of Reiki through the class. You can, the word isn't coming to my head, attune them to the Reiki
Yeah,
energy too, just like we
uh,
are.
right. And they can actually have, because I think this happened, like, spoiler alert, I think this happened with Lily, but she spontaneously attuned
Hmm.
uh, with someone treating her from your class.
Yeah. It
And
was, yeah, it was a crazy experience. She was doing a session on her and a whole bunch of things happened. She healed this part of her, and then all of a sudden, the energy just came in, and you could tell her body just melted. She relaxed, and
that's so
I'm getting
cool.
lit up thinking about it now, but she's the woman working on her who didn't know her, and this was online. She was not in the same room. She was in Canada. Said, "I think she's being attuned right now. I think that she is." Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
Right.
I don't even
And
know how
it's,
to explain it.
well, and see, okay, so that's the thing about Reiki that, like, is hard to, um, qualify or
Mhm,
quantify, because it is a mystical thing. It is of the spirit. It is of spiritual in nature. It is
mhm,
spiritual in nature. And it, there is no time. It's universal life force. It's a divine essence.
mhm,
Okay. And to put it into human language sometime, like, it gets devalued, it gets misunderstood.
yep,
And the the quality and richness of using it for yourself, which is one of the things that we teach,
mhm,
um, as I'm gonna say, as a tenant, because, like, we want you to put your oxygen mask on first, put your Reiki on yourself first, work with
yes,
Reiki for yourself first,
mhm,
'cause it's a very intimate and personal dialogue.
mhm,
And then when you share the energy from that heart space with someone else through a session, um, it
yep,
it just, it does what the person needs. And,
mhm,
I'm not driving the bus on that experience. The Reiki is,
yes,
you know.
yeah. Reiki
Um,
comes from source energy. We're just a conduit for that energy.
yep,
So we don't force it, we don't guide it, we don't say in our heads, "Oh my god, this person needs this." We let
right.
it flow and intuitively go. The energy goes where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And we might get, downloads or thoughts or knowing and ideas that come in, but in the end, that we're not in control of the energy.
No,
No.
not at all.
And that's the beauty of it.
Well, and, like, I think, like, with the distance symbol, for
Mhm.
example, being a bridge,
Yep.
like, that was something that I've looked at it in a lot of ways over the years.
Mhm.
I've always believed that there is no time when it comes to Reiki. So, you can heal the past, you can heal the future, you
Mhm.
can connect with people across the world. People ask you for distance Reiki, like, you can just send it to them.
Yep.
Um, However, I think that looking at it as a bridge, that it makes connections in such a, like, the words that are coming to my mind are magical and mystical, but, you know, those feel cheesy almost,
Yeah.
because it's so much richer than that.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah,
Mhm. It's hard. It's hard to explain, and that's one of the biggest roadblocks in trying to promote Reiki and teach Reiki and try and trying to get other people to see the value that Reiki can bring to your life because you can't explain it.
right.
But so many times, we'll do a session or um, just giving people 5 minutes of Reiki and they look back at you and go, "What did you do? I feel so relaxed. I feel
And
lighter. I feel like things have cleared." It's energy. It's energy work.
right.
Hmm.
And you can do it for yourself. Like, that's the thing. Like,
Hmm.
you know, the buzzword thing about, like, imposter syndrome or whatever that is, like,
Yeah.
you can do this for yourself because it's your relationship with the energy. And
Mhm.
if you start there, by me having this relationship, it's like introducing somebody, like making a connection for somebody that's going to move them along their path, their career. Like if I
Uh,
knew somebody that was, a grandmaster astrologer, the first thing I would be to say, "Hey, you have to meet my friend Elaine. She is so gifted in astrology. Can I put you two together?"
mhm.
Okay. So that you can benefit from the learning from the grandmaster astrologer. Okay. I
Right.
mean, to me,
Yeah.
like that's no brainer.
Yeah.
Okay. Reiki is the same way because
Mhm.
my relationship with the Reiki energy, personal relationship.
Mhm.
And I'm saying to my students, to the people that come to see me or whatever, here, let me introduce you to this really cool friend
Right.
and let's see how they can help you, assist you
Mhm.
on your path.
Mhm. 'Cause Reiki energy is infinite. There is no ceiling, there's no cap, and everybody works with it in a different way and takes away what they need from it in a
Right.
different way. So it is a
Yeah.
very individual relationship. And another thing that we wish people knew was that they need to use it for themselves,
Yeah.
just like you just said, because it is here to evolve us.
Right.
You.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to use it to help other people, but the main way to help other people and to, higher the vibration of society is to help yourself first.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that sounds selfish and backwards, but the more that we've worked with that and the more that we've seen it happen with other people, it's the truth.
okay. Well, here's a little truth telling here.
Mm,
Being the fact that I've been involved with Reiki since 2009, 2008, 2009, something like
mhm.
that was the first Reiki class. And before that was another healing modality. So, there are a good number of years here.
Yeah.
Right. And I did use Reiki for myself, but I used it for other people first.
Mhm.
Okay, because I was a massage therapist. It was a therapy that I offered.
Mhm.
Okay. And self Reiki was something that you did to align, to get ready, or, to do the attunements and teaching classes, that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay. Truth be told, showing my cards, all that kind
Mhm.
of stuff. The last, you know, what are we in? Year and a half that we've been in our little conversation here, in
Yeah.
our work, right?
Yep. Mhm.
18 months, we'll say, we'll
Yeah.
round it.
Mhm.
My personal visions and goals, vision as in my work, my neurographic art, my expression as art, my
Mhm.
feng shui, all of the things that I'm putting together and offering
Mhm.
have accelerated because I've been doing Reiki on myself every day.
Yeah.
Things drop in. Neurographic art was something that came to me, just dropped into my feed kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so you need to work with this, you know? And
Yep.
then I follow the energy on that and it's coming to a really cool place.
Mm,
So it, you know,
mhm.
I'm
It
I'm bl- blown away by the acceleration on my path because of the work I'm doing. And it has to tie into the astrology too, because look at the change of the time of what you've talked about with the astrology.
yeah. We're in a huge evolution portal is what's coming to my mind. Evolving yourself, evolving as a society. And I know that there's so much chaos right now in the outside world, but the
Mhm.
people that are doing their work and working on themselves and tapping into their own energy and tapping into your own inner wisdom and your own magic inside of yourself, there's leaps and bounds that I've seen people, overcome. And like you said, the work that we've been doing together, the more we tap into Reiki and use it as, I don't even want to say a tool, it's like the foundation of the energy that we use. And the stuff just comes with it, like the astrology and the feng shui. And it like opens up doors
Right.
and opens up an energy portal inside of yourself. That's all I can think of is this
Yeah.
energy portal that Reiki creates for you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I know that we could
Rabbit
go
hole
in
about
on it.
Reiki forever.
And yeah, but you know, I think I want to end it here with with just an offering and a blessing that, you know, we're here to have the conversation with you about Reiki.
Mhm.
Uh, we're here to, support you in your path. We might not be your teacher.
Mhm.
Like, it's the other thing. Like, our style of teaching is not for everybody. We are neurospicy. We are, ADHD people. So
Mhm.
we are teaching for the style that works best for,
For us.
for
Yeah.
us. And so, what I'll say though is if I'm not your teacher, let me help you find one. Let me
Mhm.
help you. I know a lot of Reiki people, you
Right.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, let me help you.
Because
Um,
honestly, I know that we both feel the same way. The more people that are attuned to this energy, the better.
yeah,
We don't care how or what or why.
yeah,
Just if we could facilitate that for somebody, it would be amazing, whether
it
it's
would.
through us or through somebody else. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it would be amazing.
Mhm.
And so I think that I want to leave it with, just offering a blessing, a Reiki blessing. Let Reiki bless your life however it needs to,
Mhm.
whether by seeing this podcast, you finding a person to get a session from, you finding your teacher. If Reiki is calling you, I ask you to answer.
Mhm.
I ask you to answer. I ask you to follow through on it, you know, and my wish for you is healing all those parts in yourself where you think that you're not worthy of something
Yeah.
because you are worthy and you're here for a purpose and blessings on that purpose.
Mhm. I love that.
That's all I got for right now.
All right. That was enough. I love that ending. All right.